Pretty good, actually. Yeah.
I'm Lawrence.
I'm Uzair.
We're two university students trying to plan our futures and create success.
Today we're going to be having a discussion on dealing with productivity slumps.
Welcome, everyone.
This is Thinking Ahead.
Yeah.
So, man, it's been a while. We haven't seen each other in like 2 days.
Yeah, that's true, but it feels like a long time.
Yeah, I know, like, we see each other like almost every day. Like, if we don't see each other for like 1 day, it's like, oh my god, where have you been?
It's kind of sad.
That is true.
I feel like it's just the whole like lockdown thing though. It's just, I don't know, like...
No, I think it's kind of sad that we just keep seeing each other every day.
Yeah.
But it's also like kind of endearing in some ways.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, so how's your week been?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like, this week's not been, like, it's definitely not been one of my more productive weeks, I think. Like, especially over the weekend, like, I wasn't very productive. And then, so it's, like, it's Monday today, and, like, I don't know, I'm just not getting that same spark. Like, last week I was feeling, like, really kind of into it.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of feeling, I don't know what the word is, but just, there's not, like, that fire this week.
Yeah.
But it's like I want to get that fire back. I want to get that spark, but I'm just not.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the other way around for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been like really productive this week. Because I feel like I often do that whenever I'm like not feeling that great. I just like push myself into work.
Yeah.
And this week has honestly been like, especially if I enjoy doing it, you know. So this week I've been applying to jobs and stuff, and I feel like that makes me like really. I get really excited by the prospect of that, you know, just like interviews and meeting people and connecting on LinkedIn. So I've been like really focused on that, like really. But I've also been like quite disciplined with like my schedule, like what time I wake up, what time I go to sleep, you know. I exercise every morning, make sure I have dinner, you know.
Yeah.
Make sure I have like healthy meals,
yeah,
all of that.
I think that's something that I should have done. I think I worked hard last week, but then I just did not give myself enough rest, and then I think it just kind of collapsed a bit at the weekend.
Oh yeah.
And now I'm still, because like I had such a crap sleep pattern before, now I'm trying to catch up and like get back into a normal routine.
Yeah, no, I think I kind of broke like my winning streak of like sleeping at 12, waking up at like 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like on the weekend, but I think I'm starting to like get back into it slowly. It's like not every day is gonna be perfect, you know. Like, you need to understand that like. Perfection comes after consistency.
Yeah.
Is what I like saying all the time.
I think
it's like I think the more we do it, the more like it becomes a habit. You know, there are gonna be days when like we falter, but like we need to like get back into it because we can't expect like the first 10 tries to be perfect.
That's true.
You know?
And I think like as well, I think with the sleep thing is kind of like people always say it's like jet lag.
Yeah.
You know, so you're always supposed to sleep within an hour of like the time you slept the night before.
Oh really?
So you pick a time, for instance, like 9 to 10, and you always go to sleep between 9 and 10.
Oh,
and
really?
then even on the weekend, you should try and get within that time, but then just have like a nap in the middle of the day or something.
Oh okay.
So I think my problem was, so for instance, Saturday morning I got up at like 1 p.m. and then so trying to get back into like a 9 a.m. on Monday morning is like a jet lag and trying to like pull back the clock. I think that's my problem.
Yeah.
So.
What I do is I feel like. But it's unrealistic to expect that. I mean, we expect Friday nights to be fun, you know? So it's unhealthy, and I think unrealistic to assume that we're going to sleep at the same time on Friday nights as we sleep on, like, regular days.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to, like, let go a little bit, you know? But I think we should, like, try to, I don't know, maybe, like, wake up at the same time, regardless, you know? So even if you sleep a bit late, wake up at the same time, you know? Yeah. And then go to sleep a bit earlier.
Yeah.
On like Sunday night, or like you know, I think that way like you can kind of compensate for like the other night, but at the same time you won't like mess up the schedule because you'll still be waking up at the same time next morning.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I like doing.
That's true. So. And I think as well, it's like for me, I always found like it's easier to like set my sleep schedule later than it is to set it earlier.
Yeah.
So for instance, like waking up at 1 p.m, like my body has no problem doing that.
Yeah.
But then trying to force it to wake back up at 9 a.m, it doesn't want to do it, it's like set on 1 p.m. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's like easier to wake up, you know.
What I've noticed, and I think this helped me, like I have such a bad, like I used to have like a really bad sleeping pattern, and I used to sleep like whenever and like wake up in the morning like 4 or something in the afternoon, you know, like. But I think one way I kind of fixed that was like, because our classes are like in the afternoon, you know, it's much easier for us to like just wake up really late because we don't have to like go anywhere or do anything, you know. But I started like setting meetings and appointments as early as possible in the morning. So usually like 9:30. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I did that every day last week, and I made sure that I was waking up at like 9 every single day.
That's a good idea. I should try that.
I think when like the freedom is in your hands, you often abuse it.
Yeah.
But I feel like when someone else is at stake, when something important is at stake, you know, someone else's day, then you definitely like wake up. Or maybe that's just me because I am like a very like people pleaser. So I think that works for me, and I think you should find out what works for you in some ways.
So. I think it's a good call. Like maybe I'll just try like some kind of responsibility that I have to do in the morning.
That's true.
So yeah, like meeting. I don't know what else.
Maybe like even if you don't have like meetings and stuff, maybe like asking your friend, hey, do you want to go for a walk at like 10 in the morning? You know. Or like, do you want to work out together at 10 in the morning?
That's a good one as well.
I think we should do that, honestly.
I think we should do that, yeah.
Because I work out when I wake up anyways. I think we should do that.
Hold each other accountable.
Yeah, that's true. Go to like Flavor Park and like work out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how long does it take you to get to sleep normally?
Oh, I fall asleep like ASAP.
Yeah?
Yeah, like really quick.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, I think one thing that helps me as well, I know this is like kind of controversial that you shouldn't be using your phone the minute you wake up.
Yeah.
But in my head, the minute I wake up, if I see the phone, start like scrolling through like my social media and stuff and like WhatsApp, it like makes my brain like wake up because it kind of puts me in like a thinking mode, you know?
Yeah.
Because it like jumpstarts my brain because if I just like wake up and like do my brushing and stuff, it's just like very monotonous activities. But I think social media is so like information heavy that it kind of jumpstarts your brain in some ways. So that's what I often do. Like whenever I feel like I'm gonna go back to sleep, start pressing the snooze button, I just open my WhatsApp, which is like really easy for me to do because I'm always like social media anxious anyways. So I'm kind of abusing that to my advantage, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, because the thing people normally say is like you're not supposed to go on social media or like your phone before you go to sleep, and that's I guess because it wakes you up. So maybe waking up and going on the social media.
Yeah, maybe doing the reverse of that.
Yeah, is a good.
That
thing.
works, right?
So like read or something before you go to bed, but then like social media.
Doing like monotonous activities. So like maybe not using your phone like 30 minutes or an hour before before you go to sleep, because I think there's also like some research into like how blue light affects your sleeping. But then when you wake up, putting yourself in it, you know?
Okay, I'll try and do that. And maybe not even social media. Maybe I could take it somewhere more, because I think the problem with me at the minute is like I get quite like I could spend easy like an hour on social media in the morning. So I should probably like maybe before I go to bed set myself something I can like read or like go through in the morning on my phone.
Yeah.
And then I'll do that in the morning. So like the morning I wake up and my phone will already be on the app, and I'll just like.
But I think it should be something that you're like obligated to do, something that you really like enjoy doing. You know. So maybe like I don't know, maybe like listen to like 15 minutes of your favorite podcast. Do you think that'd be like a good idea? Because I think you enjoy podcasts and stuff, and reading.
Yeah.
So I think when you do that, that's not something you have to force yourself to do. It's something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So I think that it's basically like finding something that's more important than sleep for you. You know, most things aren't. You know.
Yeah.
Like brushing your teeth and stuff. That's not motivation.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't make you
exactly. But like a meeting that can probably like change your future, or going out with a friend. Having fun, making a new friend, or like seeing something on social media.
Yeah.
Seeing the news or something, responding to messages of like your friends and your family.
Yeah.
That's something that's more important than sleep for me.
I think I'll try that definitely. Like especially the meeting thing. And I mean I should be like networking more people anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good call. Like what kind of meetings are you having in the morning then?
Yeah, so I've been like applying for jobs and stuff, right? But I've also just been like generally networking for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I'm a part of like 2 committees. So I'm part of like the student entrepreneurship community and like the Springboard career event. So we generally have meetings quite early in the morning.
Yeah.
That's really good. And like I think like if you want to go for like walks and stuff and like meet new friends, for example, as well, it's more easier for them to, because like mornings are like so free.
Yeah.
You can usually find people to do stuff like during that time.
It's easier to find the time, right?
Exactly, because like if you ask someone, hey, do you want to hang out at like 6 in the afternoon? Usually they probably have plans or like they're in the middle of doing something,
True.
So it's much harder for them to like get on board. But I think when you do it like in the morning, most people are free, and I think everyone really enjoys like a morning walk to freshen yourself up. It's like a good start of the day as well.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll try, for instance, like even I might just walk by myself and just put my podcast on first thing in the morning and just like force myself to get out that door and then just do like just walk around the park or something. Listen to an episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I think that works. I think that makes sense, honestly.
Or oh yeah, maybe, I mean, if it was social media, maybe LinkedIn is a good place, because then I'm not like I don't feel like I get distracted on LinkedIn.
Oh, really?
So maybe it's a good, like, maybe first thing in the morning is when I should be like networking people.
Oh yeah, maybe responding to messages.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think like LinkedIn is surprisingly addictive.
Yeah.
Really, maybe not like the interface itself. So maybe like not the posts and stuff. I don't really find them that interesting. But I feel like seeing like who accepted your your invitation to connect, or like who responded to your message.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're applying for jobs, you're messaging like people who actually matter. You know, usually high profile people, so like recruiters and stuff.
Yeah.
And then seeing like who's viewed your profile. It's just those things. It's just like really fun to like see. You know. So I think I'm like a very curious person. So I'm exploiting that curiosity by making myself do it early in the morning. You know?
That's a good idea. Yeah, I should definitely do that. I have already been like normally what I do is after I wake up, and I then I always do my data science stuff, and because I'm trying to teach myself data science. So I normally do that for, like before afternoon, because I know by the time the afternoon comes, like I don't know, things just get in the way. And
I know. You said something about how like when you wake up in the morning, you should like get some of the stuff done like really quick, and I found that so useful, because I've always noticed like when I wake up, or like even though I'm a night person, you know, usually I'm way more productive in the mornings, you know.
Yeah.
So like I feel like when I get down to like working on assignments and stuff, I can just like, if I start doing it in the morning for like an hour, I say that I'll do it for 30 minutes, but I get so into it during those 30 minutes, I end up spending like 4 or 5 hours like in the flow state, just completing the assignment, you know. And then it also feels so nice, because then you usually finish all your work by like 7 or 8 max, and then you have the whole night to like enjoy yourselves, you know.
Yeah. I think so. I think as well, like people who say there's like day and night people. There's like different kinds of productivity, I feel like, throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like for me, like my brain's always super active and super creative at night, but it's not, for me that's not productive, because it's more like procrastination or distraction.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the kind of mood where like I could start one thing and then be like, oh no, now I have to start something else, and now I want to do something else. But like the morning I'm quite slow, but in like a good way, like a steady.
I think there is like a whole like barrage of like information, like in your head, and ideas and stuff, which I think like start creeping up in the middle of the night, which is why we feel way more creative.
It's like a blank slate.
Yeah, in the morning it's like a bit more slow, we're kind of dumb, so we get a lot more done.
Yeah, just passive.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good way to like structure the whole day. I think wake up, do something like LinkedIn or podcasts to like make you feel good as well. Because I feel like if you do that first thing in the morning, then like the rest of your day, you're already, you know, it's like a domino effect of positivity.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel so guilty when I wake up and then I go on social media, because then I just feel like I just spent the last 14 minutes like scrolling through Instagram.
No, I think you need to like find that balance. Like I don't mind spending like the first 15 minutes of my day doing something that'll wake me up, you know, even though it's kind of a waste, rather than not doing that and then going back to sleep for another 2 hours, you know.
That's a good
so it's worth it for me,
you
know. But yeah, I always feel like such a bum when I wake up at like 12 or something, you know.
Yeah.
Because then like, in my head it's like, oh, the day's almost done, you know. Like,
I feel like
what am I even gonna accomplish? And I think like even waking up like at like 9, like the number 9 just seems so much earlier than the number 12, you know. So you already feel like the day is so long, you can get so much done.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think because there's just more daylight, and for me I think that affects me so much, like the daylight, and I think just having like them extra 3 hours, it makes it feel the day like it's so much longer.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when it's getting dark at like 4 or 5 o'clock, it's so depressing.
Exactly.
So you just like cherish it more.
Yeah, and I like to have like a work-life balance, you know, and like mornings and stuff are usually pretty dull, so nothing fun happens, no one hangs out and like stuff, you don't have dinners in the morning, you know. But like that's why I like to like incentivize myself by saying that I'll get like, if I get this much work done by 8, only then am I gonna go and have fun, you know?
Yeah.
So like whenever I don't do that, you know, what happens is usually like it's like 7 or 6 and I'm feeling guilty about like, I feel guilty about having fun if I'm not getting work done. So that incentivizes me to wake up earlier, you know, and get all my work done by like 8. It's like, it's again like, I like to offsource my like thing, my responsibilities in some ways to other people's expectations of myself, you know? So if I would say like, hey, I'm gonna watch a movie after this, it's probably not gonna be incentive enough for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a like it's me, I'm not going to watch that movie, it's my wish, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, if I say, I'm going to have dinner with this person at like 9 and I've messaged them,
Yeah.
then like someone else is relying on me. So I'm kind of like off-sourcing that, like...
I guess,
yeah.
You almost feel bad, you don't want
Yeah, I don't want to like disappoint them,
Yeah.
And then like mess up their day. And again, like I say that I'm exploiting my pleasing, like please everyone attitude.
That's
in my benefit,
That's true. I think for me, I think what would happen is that I just wouldn't end up working and then I'd still go and enjoy dinner. But probably what I should be doing is being strict and being, right, if I don't finish this by this time, or like I don't go to dinner until I finish this.
Yeah.
Or else I'm going to have to cancel the plans. And then that will trigger the response in my head going, oh, I'm going to feel guilty for not meeting up with this person when I've said I was going to meet up.
Yeah, I think that as well. And also, like, especially now that I've been, like, really trying to, like, improve, like, my socialization skills. So, like, every opportunity I get, I try to, like, make the most out of it and, like, get it. So whenever I miss an opportunity to do that, but, like, because... because I'll have to do it if I don't finish my work.
Yeah.
I feel like I've missed out on so much. So it's like a really big like incentive for me to like get my work done. So what usually happens is, even though I might not be productive throughout the day, like 2 hours before the thing, like, or like maybe even an hour before the thing, it kind of kick in that like
it's a burst of energy kind of.
Yeah, and then I'll end up like working like 30 minutes or like 40 minutes, like really hard on it.
Okay.
But then I'll be so into it, I'll be like, you know what? I can probably like go meet them like in an hour or like in an hour, an hour and a half, anyways. So then I'll just continue working for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll go and I'll meet up. Which is why I often show up late for like a lot of events.
Yeah.
Like because the other day when we were like hanging out, I was like I showed up at like way later than I was supposed to. And that's because like half an hour before the thing, I was like I'll get my LinkedIn goals for the day done, and then I ended up sitting there because I was enjoying it so much. I was in such a flow state.
Yeah.
So I think like that's a very good motivator, even if it's not really activating, like even if you're not gonna go show up,
Yeah.
even if you're gonna only show up for like 30 minutes, the fact that you know that this thing is happening, motivates you to like do stuff. If that makes sense.
And I think it's important, isn't it, not to, especially like once you get into that flow, you just don't interrupt it. Like let it kind of run its course as well.
Yeah, exactly. And, like I think like flow states are like so important, like so rare often, and you feel so like proud afterwards and like so accomplished, so that you don't want to disturb them, like no matter what happens.
I think what you're talking about as well, like the whole pairing doing the work with doing the social activity. Yeah. It's like what James Clear says in Atomic Habits, where you're kind of cheating because you're giving yourself a small pleasure, which like let's say you don't enjoy the work at all, but you enjoy having that social interaction. Yeah. Or like in the morning, like you were saying with your social media, you enjoy going on the social media. Yeah. So by pairing waking up early with going on the social media, it allows you to do the bigger task because you have the little task at the same time. It's like giving yourself a little dog treat, but you're going and doing like a bigger activity.
That's true.
So and I think it kind of works, but it's mainly as long as the task that you're meant to do is bigger than the reward that you're giving yourself. Like obviously it wouldn't work if you were getting up 1 hour early but then spending 2 hours on social media.
That's true.
But as long as one, like the good task outweighs the bad task.
That's true. Yeah, and that's why I feel like I often do that. So like if I start like working an hour before I'm supposed to be for dinner, going somewhere for dinner, I'll think in my head like I'm probably going to spend a few hours on dinner, like 2 or 3 hours, probably going to go on for like a couple of hours deep into the night. Then I might as well get like 2 or 3 more hours of work done to offset that, because it just doesn't feel that nice to like do 1 hour of work and then 4 hours of fun. So I think it's a good like habit. I think that's a very good like point.
And I think you just like some days I surprise myself how much work I can do in one day.
Really?
And some days, and I think that's what not obsesses me, but it's what makes me feel like such a slob on some days because I'm like, I know this other day. I got so much done.
But I think that's like the beauty of it, right? Like you've done it once, so it's possible for you to do it again. Just have to create the like right conditions daily, over and over again, and that's what habits are, right? The same exact like habits, doing it over and over again, like a task, is what makes a habit. Like, I think it's like 66 days of consecutive work makes a habit. So I think like even though like you have a few days where you like mess things up. As long as your general like streak is like mostly wins and you mess up like once or twice, like you should think of it as like a kind of a calendar kind of checklist type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, do it day 1, day 2, day 3.
Yeah.
So you mess up like one day, you don't feel like everything's messed up. You feel like, oh, I can continue doing this for like 66 more days. Like kind of like having that concrete number, you know, incentivizes you to like keep that winning streak going. You know?
I think for me, I think that I think that's a good idea. I think because one of the things that I see people are supposed to do is that if you actually block that time beforehand, or if you put it in your calendar, today I'm going to do this, today I'm going to do that, today I'm going to do this, then it makes you more accountable. But for me, I feel like for instance, the learning the data science, I put it in my calendar, but I haven't been following it that well. But maybe if I do it more in a streak method, where I say, right, well, if I miss one day, that's okay, the streak will continue. If I miss 2 days, then I'm just going to reset it. And maybe I'll do something simple like literally having marbles in a jar or something, so it just keeps track of that number. I feel like the more things that I get, the more marbles I get in that jar, or the more I fill something up, and the bigger it becomes, the less likely I want to have to start.
Yeah, and you know what? Exactly. I've noticed something like really, like now that you say that, I've noticed something very interesting. I make a calendar, a schedule for the day beforehand, but I've noticed that besides like the important things like classes and like meetings, I never follow that schedule. I think schedules are meant to be broken. I think they're meant to act like kind of to assure you that you're going to get all these tasks done, you know? So it's kind of having like you have space throughout the day to complete all of these things, you know? But I think what really like incentivizes me to like get tasks done is like the fact that I don't want to break that winning streak. So I don't have like the things that I've been doing amazing on, which is like working out every single day, eating healthy every day, listening to an audiobook every day, you know? Those are things that I don't have in my schedule. I always try to find like, I do them whenever I can, you know? I think like having that freedom and like just like flexibility to be like, you know what, it doesn't matter when you do it, just do it whenever. As long as you do it, you get to like check that off the list, you know?
I feel like
that incentivizes you to do more. So I think people should be less rigid with their schedules. Use that schedule more as like a motivation to do the work, but you shouldn't really rely on them that much. And maybe rely more on like just like starting the task and getting it done whenever it's possible, so as to just like fill the checklist.
I think you're right. I think, and now that I think about it, I think I was the same. When I didn't have data science like written as a timestamp in my schedule, I would still find the time to do the data science. But now that I've written it, and I think maybe because I've written to do it in the morning, and obviously the last few mornings I haven't been very productive, but I've kind of written that off afterwards. So I've been like, oh no, well the time I was supposed to do this was from 10 o'clock till 1 p.m. So now, you know, I've already missed that slot. Whereas if I didn't have it written in my schedule, then I'd probably be like, oh, I've got a few minutes, I'll do it now.
Yeah, I think I often do that. You know what? I noticed that. So like I make schedules the night before to assure myself that I have my day planned out. Because I am that way. I just like to be organized, and in some ways, even though like these plans probably never like fruition most of the time, the fact that I know that I have these plans incentivizes me and like makes me more motivated to like work and gives me clarity to like start working. So I feel like if I don't have plans written down, regardless of the fact that if I'm going to follow them or not, it's like too much clutter in my head to like start working. So I often make the schedule not really for like following it, but for like motivating me to start working, you know? And I do that, but like throughout the day, I've noticed like I never really follow the schedule. I just think what I do is like, if you finish one task, like, but I do follow the order of things. So like my schedule is mostly like for prioritizing, and for
that's a good way to put it,
for like prioritizing and like making me feel like more calm in a way, so that I can start working. Those are like the two like reasons why I schedule things, not necessarily for following them, you know?
I think that's a good way to put it, actually.
It just looks good as well.
Yeah, like if you put your, or like what we were saying before, it's the same thing, right? Like you're trying to get the most important thing done in the morning. So maybe I should just schedule my whole day like that, and then that could actually work a lot better. And then towards the end of the day, the things that are kind of minor things, and only take 30 minutes, but maybe there's 4 or 5 of them. Maybe I try and do them more at 4 or 5 o'clock instead of trying to do them first thing.
I think I don't really agree with that idea, actually. I feel like you should do just like things whenever, like you should have a good balance. I feel like doing too many things important during the day, and then like leaving all the smaller things towards the end of the day. It's like, I don't think it works in the long run, because then like you just burn out throughout the day, and towards the end of the day you feel like you're not accomplishing much. So what I do is like I do something big, probably do some small task afterwards, you know, because then like within that like huge time period, I feel like I've gotten like 2 tasks done, you know. But then if I do like 10 tasks in like 1 hour, then I just feel like these tasks are like kind of meaningless, and it kind of takes away the pleasure of like checking that off my task list. So what I do is like I keep a balance, but I do like have that set order set the day before,
It's true. I do think it's important to write them the day before. And I mean, Tim Ferriss talks about a lot how really if you want something done in a day, you should just pick one big thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's the hard thing is that sometimes, like obviously there's going to be days where you can do everything, like, everything that you want to get done, but sometimes there's days where you can barely get anything done at all, like the days that I'm having at the minute. And I think if I just picked one big thing, instead of my mind being scattered in 4 different places, then I'd spend that time more effectively. But at the minute I know that I need to do the data science, I know that I have assignments that I need to do for university, I know that for my work at the minute there's deadlines that I've got to adhere to. So because I've got all of them things happening at the same time, I feel like I don't really know which way to go.
That's true.
But maybe